They say that money makes the world go round, and it's no different in the world of video games. Those that sell well may go on to spawn massive franchises, whereas those that flop commercially are either forgotten or relegated to cult status. But have you ever stopped to wonder what the best-selling games were for your favorite consoles of years past? We have, and we're here today to share that information with you, our loyal viewers. Tell your friends, we want more. Before we get into it, we'd better establish the rules. We've scoured VGCharts.com to find the very best-selling games for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. Where a game appears on the bestseller list for both consoles, we've combined the figures to give an overall total. Why have you lumped these two consoles together, you may ask? Well, put simply, it's because there was very little diversity between the games that sold well on the PS3 and those that sold well on the Xbox 360. It's the usual suspect, you'll find out shortly. Somewhat shockingly, there are no PlayStation exclusives on the list, with the likes of The Last of Us and Gran Turismo 5 missing out by a couple of million sales. Oh, and prepare yourselves, because it turns out that people really like Call of Duty. That's it, that's one of the usual suspects. With all of that nice and clear, I'm Ben from TripleJump, and here are the 10 best-selling games for the PS3 and Xbox 360. Number 10. Halo 3, 14.5 million units. It isn't particularly surprising that one of the best-selling games for the Xbox 360 was a Halo title. After all, the franchise is one of the best reasons to own a Microsoft console. Released in September 2007, Halo 3 concluded the story arc that ran through Halo Combat Evolved and Halo 2. Players once again assumed the role of Master Chief as he and his comrades attempted to eliminate the threat of the Covenant, a theocratic alliance of alien races, and the Flood, a parasitic alien life form. Like its predecessors, Halo 3 released to universal critical acclaim. Opinion was split on the single-player campaign, with some calling it the perfect ending to the trilogy, whilst others felt like it was the most disappointing part of the game. Luckily, a strong multiplayer mode more than made up for any shortcomings, and Halo 3 garnered tons of praise for its huge variety of multiplayer maps, as well as the new vehicles and weapons that had been added, its score, and its voice acting. Put simply, if you enjoyed the first two Halo titles, there was no reason not to buy Halo 3, and it would seem that almost 15 million people would agree. Number 9. Minecraft, 19.05 million units. Considering that since its original release in 2011, Minecraft has sold well over 200 million copies, it's really no surprise that it was amongst the best-selling video games of the 7th generation. If you're not familiar with Minecraft, then who am I kidding? Everyone's familiar with Minecraft. Come on. Created by Marcus Notch Pearson, this blocktacular sandbox allows players to explore a vast, procedurally generated world, meet strange and interesting creatures, and build pretty much whatever they can imagine. Originally, Minecraft was only available to PC users, but it made its way to Xbox 360 in May 2012 and PlayStation 3 in December of the same year, which meant that console fans could finally get in on all the fun. Admittedly, neither the Xbox 360 nor the PlayStation 3 versions of the game reviewed as well as the PC original, earning scores of 82 and 86 out of 100 respectively, but that didn't stop players from buying the console editions in their millions. Over 19 of them to be exact. Besides, what Minecraft for console lacked in mods, it more than made up for in user-friendliness, with additions like crafting recipes, tutorials, and tips garnering much praise from both critics and fans. Number 8. Call of Duty Ghosts, 20.54 million units. It was somewhat disappointing for our writer to find out that Call of Duty Ghosts was not a game about a plucky group of soldiers turned ghost hunters, but was, instead, just another military shooter. What's perhaps even more disappointing is the fact that it was still one of the best-selling games of the generation, despite not really being all that good. Don't get us wrong, Call of Duty Ghosts was absolutely fine if you were into first-person shooters, but it didn't exactly push the envelope. Call of Duty Ghosts is set in the future, sometime after the Middle East has been destroyed by nuclear bombs. With the vast majority of oil production falling to South America, several of the continent's countries have banded together and begun invading other nations. Players jump into the shoes of the titular Ghosts, a US Spec Ops force tasked with conducting various clandestine operations behind enemy lines. The game was fine to play if you were happy with more of the same old COD formula, but it really didn't bring anything new to the table. Had it not been part of the COD franchise, then we can't help but feel that it wouldn't have shifted anywhere near as many units as it did. Number 7. Grand Theft Auto 4, 21.66 million units. He may have the world's most annoying cousin, but clearly that didn't stop millions upon millions of players from welcoming Niko Bellic into their homes. Developed by Rockstar North, published by Rockstar Games, and released in April 2008 for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, the sixth main entry in the Grand Theft Auto series told the story of war veteran Niko Bellic as he escapes from his criminal past in Eastern Europe by engaging in crimes in the United States. Yeah, his life choices leave something to be desired. The game boasts a huge open world to explore, an engaging story campaign that will keep players occupied for the best part of 30 hours, and a frankly silly number of side missions. Not only did Grand Theft Auto 4 sell ridiculously well on both Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, but it also went down incredibly well with critics, earning an eye-wateringly high average review score of 98 out of 100. In fact, if our good pals over at Metacritic are to be believed, and we have it on good authority that they're a very trustworthy bunch, then Grand Theft Auto 4 is the third best game ever made. Cripes, there's no wonder it sells so well. Number 6. Kinect Adventures, 24 million units. Now, we do feel somewhat conflicted about including Kinect Adventures in this list. On the one hand, it was the best-selling Xbox 360 game of all time, but on the other hand, it was only the best-selling Xbox 360 game of all time because it came packed in with the console. Still, there's nothing in our extensive list of rules that prohibits its inclusion, so included it is. Let's get the obvious out of the way first, shall we? Kinect Adventures was not a very good game, and had it been sold on its own, we can't imagine it would have reached even a fraction of the players that it did. Kinect Adventures comprised a series of minigames that aimed to showcase what the Kinect itself could do. These minigames included the likes of 20,000 leaks, in which players had to use their limbs to plug cracks in an underwater glass cube, and Space Pop, that tasked players with popping bubbles. Critics' consensus was that Kinect Adventures did a fair job of demonstrating the Kinect hardware, but wasn't really any good for much else, and would have been far more enjoyable had it contained more minigames. Still, I suppose players couldn't really grumble since they didn't have to pay anything for it. Number 5. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, 24.14 million units. Oh good, more Call of Duty. How exciting. Fortunately though, unlike Call of Duty Ghosts, this one's quite special. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2's single-player campaign follows two separate military units, both of whom must carry out missions to help eliminate the threat of the Russian ultra-nationalist party and their leader, Vladimir Makarov. The first unit, Task Force 141, is charged with hunting down Makarov, whilst 1st Battalion / the 75th Ranger Regiment defend Washington, D.C. from Russian invasion. Upon its release, Modern Warfare 2 was met with universal critical acclaim, earning review scores of 94 out of 100 on both Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. In particular, critics lauded the game's interesting campaign, accomplished multiplayer, and the bucket load of content that developer Infinity Ward had packed into the game. With that said, Modern Warfare 2 did upset one or two folks who were outraged by the airport massacre that players could take part in during the No Russian mission. This led to some stores refusing to stock the game, as well as censorship in a number of countries. Clearly though, none of this hurt its sales too badly, as it went on to be the 5th best-selling video game for the PS3 and 360. Number 4. Call of Duty Black Ops, 27.41 million units. Although Call of Duty Black Ops might not be the best-selling Call of Duty game of the 7th generation, it is the COD title that's most fun to say when you abbreviate it. Go on, I dare you to say COD Blops out loud and not smile. You can't, can you? Oh, we have fun here. Blops. Blops. Unlike previous titles in the Call of Duty series, which had focused on World War II and modern conflicts, COD Blops was set during the Cold War, a period of tension between the United States and the Soviet Union spanning nearly 45 years that effectively boiled down to my nuke's bigger than your nuke. It was a great time to be in the fallout shelter business, put it that way. The game itself is set during the 1960s and follows protagonist Alex Mason as he attempts to recall certain memories in the hopes of locating a numbers station, which is capable of transmitting broadcasts to sleeper agents to get them to deploy chemical weapons across the US. Not ideal. By 2011, Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2 had cemented Call of Duty's status within the games industry, and despite not reviewing as well as either, COD Blops was still able to enjoy all of the commercial rewards. Number 3. Call of Duty Black Ops 2, 27.66 million units. Despite not being as good as its predecessor, at least not if its review scores are to be believed, Call of Duty Black Ops 2, or COD Blops 2 Electric Boogaloo if you want to get ridiculous about this, still outsold COD Blops on the PS3 and 360 by around 250,000 units. That means that there are probably 250,000 people out there who played COD Blops 2 without fully understanding why they were there or what was going on. Oh well, as long as they're happy. As the game's title might suggest, COD Blops 2 was a sequel to COD Blops. However, rather than taking place in the 60s, the game was set in the 1980s and the year 2025. In the 80s, players join Alex Mason as he pursues cartel leader Raul Menendez, whilst in the future, they took on the role of Alex's son David, who is also after the villain. Players turned out in their millions to snag a copy of the game, and within 24 hours of going on sale, it had already grossed over $500 million, making its launch the biggest of all time. Not bad for a game with a really silly nickname. Number 2. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, 28.17 million units. It is my pleasure to inform you that Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 is the last of the Call of Duty titles on this list, and we thank you for sticking with us thus far. In fairness though, you can't really be mad at us, it's you lot who keep spending your money on them. To paraphrase Todd Howard, if you want us to stop covering them, stop buying them. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 picks up pretty much where Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 finishes. The plot focuses on Task Force 141, who continue their mission to stop Vladimir Makarov and the Russian ultranationalist party at all costs. Modern Warfare 3 outsold its predecessor by over 4 million copies, and within 16 days of its release, it had already grossed over $1 billion. It also received a decent response from critics, who praised its FPS gameplay, both the single-player campaign and the multiplayer, the game's audio-visual presentation, and its overall polish. Admittedly, Modern Warfare 3 wasn't exactly innovative, but it took everything that the previous Call of Duty games had done well and gave players more of it, which was clearly exactly what they wanted. I suppose if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Number 1. Grand Theft Auto 5, 36.18 million units. I don't think that anyone out there will be shocked by our number 1 entry. After all, it feels like absolutely everybody has played Grand Theft Auto 5 at some point, so there's little wonder that it's sold like hotcakes and continues to do so to this very day. Released in September 2013, GTA 5 is the gargantuan open-world action-adventure from the good folks over at Rockstar. Originally, it was only released for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, but has since been brought to the PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One and Series, and PC. GTA 5 follows the exploits of a trio of protagonists, Michael, Franklin, and Trevor, as they navigate life in the fictional state of San Andreas and undertake a number of criminal activities. Very naughty. As is par for the course for Grand Theft Auto, upon its release, GTA 5 was met with critical acclaim and controversy, with gaming fans heralding it as the best thing since sliced bread, whilst others condemned it. However, the naysayers didn't stop it from earning more awards than you can shake a stick at, and garnering a review score that placed it amongst the best video games ever made. With so much going for it, there really is little wonder that everybody and their dog bought a copy for their 7th gen consoles.